Hello friends and family, welcome to my channel. This is Living with Purpose, Rosena's story. So let's talk chemo side effects. How was it? What did I experience? I will tell you all about it in this video. So I wanted to give you just general information as far as what I experienced doing the first set of chemotherapy. So remind you, for this type of breast cancer, I had to do two different set of chemotherapy. So for these list of side effects that I'm going to tell you about, it's just for the first set, which is the carboplatin and Taxol in combination with immunotherapy. So without further ado, let's get to it. So from day one, the first side effect we will talk about is nausea. Nausea is real. It is real. So when you go for your treatment, or when I went for my treatment, I would say, they will give me pre-medications. And those pre-medications included anti-nausea medications. When I get home, I have to keep up with them. However, if you don't keep up with the anti-nausea medications, that's where you will start experiencing a lot of the nausea. So they did prescribe me Zofran, which they call ondansetron, and they also gave me a breakthrough anti-nausea medication. And what it is for Zofran, you cannot take it so often. So the breakthrough one, you can take it in between. Does that make sense? You will take it in between. And what I did is I took that one, the breakthrough anti-nausea, I took it at night because it causes drowsiness and dizziness. So I didn't want to take it during the day, especially if I had to drive. So for me, and remind you, these are the side effects that I experience. Chemo affect everyone that's going through it, get affected in their own way. So as far as nausea, I was experiencing it for the first 3 days after chemo. I would say that was the worst time, first 3 days. Throughout the week, after those 3 days, I still experienced it, but it wasn't as bad. So first 3 days was about, from a scale 1 to 10, I would say about a 9. And then after those 3 days, it was about a 4. So here's what I did after those first 3 days. For the first 3 days, I took Zofran and the breakthrough medication that were prescribed. After the first 3 days, I was taking some ginger, and you crush ginger. You can make tea. You can eat it if you can handle it. It's a little bit spicy, so, well, it's very spicy. But anyway, so here's what I use. So I did get some of these. It's called Queasy Drops. It's like a hard candy, and can you see? I hope so. It's hard candy and there's different flavors. This one is raspberry. And then these ones, I swear by them, I was taking those every day. And this one is called Tummy Drop. I will put the link on the description box so you can see. And there's different flavors of these. I did use the mint. This one is peppermint flavor, and I also used the ginger flavor. Some other tips I'll give you that worked for me. As far as when it was time for me to eat, I made sure my food was not as hot. Because when it's too hot and you're nauseous, you smell it. Oh, not a good picture. Your stomach won't. And then make sure you don't eat large portion of food. Because when you eat so much, you will feel so full, and then the nauseous will get worse. So eat small portion at a time. I would say probably 4 to 6 meals per day. And whatever that your stomach can handle. Whether it's a protein shake, whether it's a bowl of soup or broth. Something that your stomach can handle. That's what I did. So I use a lot of ginger and lemon, especially in the morning for the last or after the first 3 days. Oh, and also keep up with your water. Stay hydrated and avoid eating so much. So much greasy food, because again, those two don't go together when it comes to nausea. So don't. So that's nausea first, and that was my worst side effect, I want to say, with this chemotherapy. Constipation. All right, y'all, we're gonna talk about it. We all go to do number 2. You need bowel movement. It's normal. With chemo, it's horrible. All right, so I would say do whatever that your body or your stomach can handle. to help you go. Obviously, high fiber, but not everybody can handle eating so much veggies throughout chemo or so much fruits, right? So whatever you can. For me, I did. So chemo causes you to be constipated in general, and then on top of it, you're taking Zofran, which the number one side effects for Zofran is constipation. So now your problem is double. Every time I took Zofran, I took this thing here. What is it called? Colace. And it says regular strength stool softener. I just took one every time I took Zofran. And then I also took this laxative. It is called Rosena. You can take any generic brand. This one I got from CVS. So anyways, I took those with Zofran. Did it help me? Yes. Not tremendously. What I noticed though, when I started incorporating more fiber in my food, it helped me to go a ton. Oh, so what did I do? I ate beets. Not everybody like this thing, but you can either do the juice or you boil the root itself. I don't have a picture, but you boil it for maybe a few minutes and then you consume it. It helped me to go, let me tell you. Oh, thank you, Jesus. But all right, and then so on top of that, I also drink a lot of pear juice and I ate the pear as well. That helped me go. Stay hydrated. Throughout this video, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say to stay hydrated, but it's so important because you need it in order for you. It will help you to go. And also another thing that will help you also, walking. Taking a few minutes walk, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so you can help things moving. All right, another side effect that I experienced was headache. With headache, come with that was eye sensitivity, so I couldn't handle bright lights. That was making my headaches worse. There was certain medication I couldn't take as far as pain meds. So depending on your doctor, everyone's doctor is different. For me, I was not allowed to take Tylenol just because Tylenol can suppress fever. And they didn't want me to, just in case I'm reacting to the chemo drug, they didn't want to suppress fever reaction because that's how you would know your body's fighting something. So I was banned from taking Tylenol. I was prescribed Tramadol. Tramadol cannot work for me because it's too strong. So I use cold packs. I try to rest as much as I can. So if I felt a headache is coming through, I just stop whatever I was doing. I relax. Meditate. Yes, I learned to meditate throughout chemo treatment. And so another tip I will give you also is when you're outside, especially when the sun is out, put on your sunglasses so that way you can help with your eyes sensitivity. That was another thing for me as well. So that's about it for headaches. The obvious, I want to say most patients experience this, hair loss. That one is a huge one. First warning, you will be stared at. Yes, they will stare because you look weird. You look different. Well, at least for me, that's how I felt. Children will be staring at you. Adults will be staring at you because they don't know your story. But my motto is, how do I put it? Every bald head has a strong story, right? That's my motto. So I didn't really care much about people staring at me. I just went out like that. But I didn't experience baldness or I didn't start losing my hair until about the third round of treatment. So what I did to prepare, about a week before my treatment, I cut my hair into a pixie style. I will put a picture on the side somewhere so you can see it. So I cut it into a pixie style. And then by the third treatment, you will start seeing hair falls, right? So I will put a cap on to sleep with, and then when I take it off, you can just see hair all over it. And then when I will go in the shower, just washing my hair, it will just start falling off. That's when I knew time to shave it off. So my husband did shave my head off for me, but what I did was I didn't shave it to, like, you know how when you shave and you make it shiny? I did not do that. Don't. Well, I couldn't do that because my scalp was very sensitive. And I don't know if it's because of the chemo. It was very sensitive, very tender. I couldn't even touch my scalp. So what we did was we shaved it, most of the hair, but you can still see pieces. So when I'll go in the shower, I'll just put shampoo and I wash it off every time until it was all gone. And then another thing when it comes to your scalp, make sure you use shampoo, like a shampoo that is not too strong. Well, I use baby shampoo because it doesn't have too many ingredients in it that can irritate your scalp, so that helped me out. And then after I shower, I will use either jojoba oil or castor oil on my scalp, and that helped big time. When I sleep, I use a light satin hair cap put in my head, so that way it won't get irritated on the pillow. That's my tip for hair loss. As far as going out, so I started treatment in August. So around October, December, it started getting cold. I had to wrap my head, especially going for treatment. And the treatment center is usually very cold. So what happens when you don't have hair? We can figure it out. So you get super cold. I did use some kind of hats, some scarf. Let me show you. Don't mind. One is my favorite. All right, I use this one a lot. I bought this from Amazon. It's so cute, y'all. I'm gonna put it on for you in a minute. And then this is another kind. I think I use this one a lot too. All right, so let me show you. It's so cute. So I used that to cover my head, and it kept it warm. How's that? Hey, yes. And then I use this one quite often. This one is so cute. All right, so oh, this one was so nice. How is that? Yes, I use that. You have to keep a little bit fashion. That helped me a lot. You can cover your ears. You can pull it back if you want. You can use different things, and you can also use a scarf. Another thing that I use this scarf quite often. I have a lot of these. I use this a lot. You can use this in many different ways. So let me show you how I use this one here. I will put it on my head like this. Hey, tie it up one time. You see? So take this one here, bring it back here, and then do a bow. So nice. That's when I didn't want to deal with, I cannot see what I'm doing, so how's that? So I wore this one a lot. I have so many of those. What I like about it is the material is very light, especially when I get the hot flashes. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I use that as well. So I'm gonna take this one off. Next topic, fatigue, tiredness. That's an obvious one. As you progress or as you continue treatment, the fatigue will get worse. All I can say about that one is there's not much you can do about it, really. You just have to watch your body, take naps, don't fight with your body. I do understand some people have to work during treatment. For me, I was fortunate. I didn't have to, and I was a little bit too sick also. So I just took naps throughout the day. I don't know, 2 to 3 naps. And it was probably 30 minutes here and there. So that helped me. And then also I stay hydrated. I'm gonna keep telling you that because hydration is crucial. And then even walking, I notice even if I do maybe 30 minutes outside around the neighborhood, it helped me big time. And with this treatment, I was able to walk about 3 to 6 miles a day for the most part. So walk can help. Any type of exercising. I couldn't do much of exercising, but walking, so I did that. And it helped me big time. So that's what helped me with the fatigue. Next one, menopause. Ladies, yes, chemo automatically puts you through menopause. And come along with menopause is hot flashes. Oh, yeah. So the hot flashes is horrible. It's bad. Throughout the night, I found myself waking up at least 3 to about 5 times throughout the night. And when I wake up in the middle of the night from hot flashes, let me just say this. My beddings will be drenched. Sweats will be dripping as if somebody threw water on me. It continued to get worse until I stopped treatment. But I don't know how long. For some people, they get their menstrual right back after they're done with chemo. For some, theirs never came back. So I'm hoping mine will come back. As of today, we're still waiting. So what did I do to help me as far as the hot flashes? There's nothing I can do with menopause. It's done. But the hot flashes, I just made sure I use lightweight clothing. At night, very lightweight pajamas. And if you can drop your thermometer down, you have to do what you gotta do. Some people use bed light fan. They're like handheld fans. I don't know. I bought one, but I didn't use it. They have different modes. You can put it on high, medium, low, if you have to use that. Oh, I did purchase some beddings that were cooling beddings, so they don't get warm. You can sleep on it, right? Usually your body heat will make the linens or get warm, but this one didn't. And also, I'll find a link to this pillow that I use. It's a cooling pillow. It's nice. It felt good. Anyways, that helped me too. And also, you can have maybe a cold drink on your nightstand, so that way when the hot flashes come, you just take a few sips of the cold drink. That kind of helped me also. Your blood work will be affected by chemo. There's no buts, no ifs. Chemo affects your blood work. You will have low white blood cells, low red blood cells, low iron, low hemoglobin, and you just kind of have to wait for your body to pick back up. As far as low WBC, white blood cells, what I would suggest is hand washing is the biggest thing. Wash your hands every time you think of it. Every time you touch something, wash your hands. Stay away from crowded places. So if you don't have to go to a concert or to family gathering, don't go, because your white blood cells is what help you fight infection. You don't want to get sick while you're on treatment, because now they will have to put a hold on the treatment while you recover. So that's my biggest tip. When I did go to the store, I will make sure I wear a mask, and then as soon as I get home, I remove the clothes that I was wearing and wash my hands. So for me, I have little children and they go to school, and you know what that means. They come home with a lot of germs. So my relatives who were living with me, my husband, they made sure on the days where I couldn't get up or I couldn't manage to help my kids, yes, that happens, they make sure they showered before they come and hug me or kiss on me, wash their hands. And if they were sick, I had to stay away from them, which was a very difficult part for me throughout this journey. But my kids were very understanding. It was harder for the little one, a 4-year-old, but we made it through. So another thing with white blood cells. So beginning of the chemotherapy, my white blood cells were doing well. They were dropping, but they were gradually dropping. Not drastic. It was slowly dropping. Eventually, I think by about round 8. So all in general, I had to do 12 rounds of carboplatin and Taxol. By round 8 of that, my white blood cells dropped dangerously. So that's where the medical team come into play. I had to get injections to help my bone marrow produce more white blood cells. That one was a little bit difficult because it was self-injection. So I was prescribed these injection, and I think it's subcutaneous. It's as if you're administering insulin, for anyone out there who might be knowledgeable about that. And so you have to use fatty area. So I did inject in my abdomen area. And what it is I think if after chemo, you have to wait for 48 hours to inject it. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's how it was. So after the first 48 hours, you administer it for 3 days. 1 injection per day for 3 days. And I had to do that by myself. Usually, I'm not a person who's afraid of needles. But by the time I stopped using those stuff, I was terrified of needles because it was a pretty big needle. And then imagine injecting yourself 3 days in a row. And I think I did that for about a month. I want to say about 5 weeks or so for the remainder of my therapy for the Carbo and the Taxol. So that one was a little bit difficult. And also, as far as your low white blood cells, remember they're helping you to fight infection. So another big thing you have to remember is what you eat. Your vegetables, your fruits, they must be washed properly, very well washed, because there's pesticides on them, right? So you got to get rid of those things. So what I did was I'll wash my fruit and vegetable in vinegar mixed with water and salt. So yes, that's what I did. Vinegar, salt, and water. Put it in a big bucket or put it in a big bowl and then wash them let them air dry or whatever the case. Just make sure you wash your stuff. For the low iron and low hemoglobin, the red blood cells, I did drink beet juice religiously to the point where I hated it. I still drink it till today, so I guess I became accustomed to it, but it helps me. I guess my thing was throughout this journey, what I learned was I was doing anything to help myself get better, even if I didn't like it. So there will be times throughout the treatment you're not gonna want to eat, you're not gonna want to drink certain stuff, but your body needs it, so you have to try your best to consume something. So that's what I did, and I also ate liver. Oh, some people hate it. Some people cannot eat liver, but I ate beef liver and chicken liver, and I just made sure I bought the grass-fed beef liver. And I prepare it in different ways, sometimes with vegetables, sometimes I would just prepare with stew. I eat it with whatever that I wanted to eat that day or that I could eat that day. And I was mainly eating those probably after the third day because, like I said, the first 3 days, there's only so much my stomach can take because of the nausea and the fatigue and all that. So I couldn't do much. So that's what I did for these. Taste buds. Oh man. I couldn't taste anything that I was eating or drinking after the first 3 rounds of chemo. And I think that's what it makes it difficult for a lot of people in general going through chemotherapy, because usually you want to taste what you're eating. So if you cannot taste it, you're not going to want to eat it or drink it. My family, my husband, my children, they were very supportive, encouraging me, telling me, Mom, you need to do this, babe, you got to do this because you need to get better. So I tried, whether it's chicken broth, beef broth, soup, smoothie, protein shake, whatever it is that I could tolerate. But the taste bud wasn't as bad for me compared to some people that I've spoken to. And again, I was very grateful because most of my side effects were worse for the first 3 days after chemo. So I was very grateful for that. After the 3 days, I was able to eat and I was able to taste what I was eating. But one tip I will give you on that one is before you eat anything, you can swish a little bit of salt water in your mouth. That will help you out as far as the taste. It helped me. So that's about that for the, it's a horrible thing, but that's just the side effect of the chemo. So really, there's not much you can do. Mouth sores with this chemotherapy, it wasn't as bad, but you will experience, I did experience teeth sensitivity and my gums were also sensitive. My mouth was a little bit sore, but not as bad. So what I did was every time I eat, I will wash my mouth. I will do this mixture of water. It was a mixture of water, baking soda, and salt. And I will switch that in my mouth after every time I eat, and then before bedtime. Also, I couldn't eat anything spicy, and I love spicy food. Because of the mouth sores, I couldn't eat anything spicy. Hot food, my food has to be warm. Your toothbrush, you have to change your toothbrush to a soft type of toothbrush so that way you won't irritate your teeth or your gums more. Oh, so you have to change your toothpaste to something that doesn't have the, some toothpaste, they have a peppermint or mint kind of taste. That one wouldn't work for me. So I had to use a natural toothpaste that didn't have any of that. And also avoid spicy food, avoid, I don't know if I said that already, but avoid spicy food and avoid crunchy type of food. So chips, fries, I don't know, stuff that are crunchy. Avoid that because it will make your mouth sores worse. And so I couldn't do that. Nerve pain. I did experience nerve pain. It wasn't as bad. At the beginning, it was kind of strange, and then I started realizing, oh, it's getting worse. So I had to find ways to help me with that. So with nerve pain, when I was going through treatment, I had to put my hands in ice for the whole duration of, I want to say Taxol. I think Taxol is what causes the nerve pain. So I had to put my hands in ice and also my feet. So Taxol was for an hour. So my hands were in the ice for an hour, and also my feet. And they say that's supposed to help with the nerve pain and also the discoloration of your fingernails. But I still experienced nerve pain. It wasn't as bad. So I would say the ice did help. But what I did, I used a hard ball to squeeze my hands on and also my feet. So I'll roll the ball under my feet. That helped me big time with the nerve pain. What else did I did? That's about it. So bone pain and joint pain. You will experience that. Well, I did experience bone pain and joint pain. And that's also a side effect of the chemo drug. But I was also taking the injection for my white blood cells. That was another side effect of that injection, bone pain. So I wasn't aware of how bad it will get. When I started doing the injection, the first day or so, it was okay. The third day, I felt this horrible pain on my rib cage. And I was like, what is that? It was hard for me to breathe because of the pain. And then that's when they ring the bell that I'll have bone pain from this injection. So I was already experiencing bone pain, but it wasn't as bad until I started taking the injection. So what did I do to help me with that? I was put on Claritin every day until I was done. That helped me big time with the bone pain. Joint pain was worse in the morning. During the day, I made sure I tried to walk, stretch, whatever I could to help me because they were very stiff and painful. So that's about it. Last but not least, I experienced itching of the extremities. It's a strange feeling. It's a strange thing to explain. It's as if I was standing in an ant pile and the ants are biting me and I cannot move. I'm stuck there and I can't scratch them. It was bad. And it was mainly happening, it will get worse when I walk, when I'll go for walks. I was taken at the beginning when the itching started. When did it start? I want to say it started doing my 8th or 9th round of chemo for the Carbo and the Taxol. So unfortunately I had to stop my daily walking because every time I would walk it would get worse. I remember one time it got so bad I was crying like a baby. I was bawling out. I will put my hands in cold water. It will help for a little bit, remove it, and it will start itching again. This thing, it was bad. I tried my best to meditate through it, and let me tell you, that was difficult. Imagine you're so itchy and you're trying to meditate at the same time. It was tough. I did take, the Claritin was helping a little bit, but my doctor also suggested for me to take Benadryl at night. So I was doing that. And then it was helping for some time, and then out of nowhere it stopped working. So they had to prescribe me some medications for the itchiness. Some of the medication they prescribed wasn't working, so eventually I found this. It was a Benadryl itching cream. I'll put it on my hands and my feet and then try to relax, elevate my leg. That helped me a lot. That's about it as far as the side effects that I experienced with the Carbo and Taxol chemotherapy. I just want to say, yes, chemo is tough. Chemo will test you in so many ways. I learned so much through it all, like how to breathe in and breathe out, how to meditate. I'm grateful because I had a lot of support. I had a lot of people trying to help me out. I think one of the hardest things for me through it all was the fact that I was not involved with my kids. I couldn't do much for my children. So just imagine you sitting there in the house on this couch. You can't help your kids with homework. You can't take them to activities. And there was a point where they couldn't even come and hug me and kiss me because I was sick. I was so weak. I was so tired. Sometimes they will leave the house, I don't even know. Sometimes I'll come home and I'm all druggy. Somebody drugged me and I'll go straight to bed. I'll sleep for hours and hours and hours, wake up the next day feeling so weak. I think that was the toughest part for me. But we survived it. I'm grateful for that. And for those of you out there that might be going through it right now, I just want to tell you, you can do this. you are strong enough. You will make it through. You will beat this thing. If you are going through treatment right now, or you've been through treatment for chemotherapy, whichever chemotherapy, please comment below and share with me some of the side effects you experienced and what did you do to help you get through them. I will appreciate it. But anyways, yes, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for watching. Remember, enjoy the little things and take it one day at a time. You don't need to plan 5, 10 years of your future. Just enjoy the day that you see and enjoy the little things in life. I will see you on the next video. Bye.